Well, it's 5 a.m. Come back out for another check. That's Sharon loose yesterday out in the pen with everybody. So we'll see how her lambs are faring. Queen was starting to bag up there yesterday, and I checked her again last night, and yeah, she was definitely going to be, I think, within the next 1 to 2 days. So that's exciting. So let's go see how everybody's doing. Well, Sharon come bellering over here like she's looking for grain. She's got both lambs. Little Kylie there, sure, still having to fight for it though. Queen has no lambs. Duchess, no lambs. Juliet, no lambs. Very vocal, but no lambs. That's all for now. Back to the house for some bacon and eggs and some coffee. Now it's like, I think 8 a.m. shortly after. Got Charlotte back in bed for a bit of a nap. She was up early, 5 a.m. Just as soon as I come in from checking sheep, she was up and ready for the day. So now she's back asleep, gonna get a couple of jobs done that are difficult to do while she's, tied to my hip. So got yesterday's eggs, gonna run them over to the shop here, get them put in the fridge. And then in a little bit here, we're gonna run over and look in the sheep pen. And there's some old hay in there, and we're just gonna talk about what we can do with old hay so it doesn't go to waste. So we found I put the egg baskets in the fridge and not the eggs. I went the wrong way around. We found that sheep are gonna waste around 30% of a hay bale, which is a significant amount. That's a lot of wastage. And we haven't come up with a way, a feeder style or anything like that that's been able to reduce it any lower than that. Other feeder styles have actually increased wastage higher than that. So definitely not favorable. So these guys over here, they're our hard workers on the farm. We're gonna take a little bit of that wasted feed and see if we can push it back to the chickens, and maybe they'll be able to process it. And again, totally an experiment. We'll see if it works. I do have a bucket of fermented grains for these guys, but I'm not gonna give it to them this morning. I'm gonna run over to the sheep pen. I'm gonna get some of this old hay. I'm gonna put it in their chicken coop here, beside the chicken coop here, and just see if they can work through it and till it and eat it before I get them full on grain. So over here behind me, this is where we fed the sheep all winter, round bales. And there's quite, like you can see, there's a massive pile here. There's a lot of wastage. Now in the past couple of weeks here, the last month, not an issue. Now that the snow is all gone, this was a really good place for the sheep to rest and lamb out when there was snow on the ground, because it was raised up, it was nice and dry, it was nice and comfortable. It's great. But now we have this pile of just fermenting grass here that, you can see everything else is starting to green up, but this won't. It's just gonna have this layer of basically heavy mulch on it, and we wanna go ahead and strip it off. Now, either I could come in here with the tractor and pick it all up, take it out to the field, and it's gotta sit out there for between a year, maybe even 5 years for some of it to decompose and become, good compost. Or I could get a wheelbarrow in here for the 15 minutes it's gonna take, fork some of this up, and then take it over to the chickens and just see what they do with it. So very similar to what we did with the sawdust or the pine shavings over there. I wanna see if they'll pick through it, till it into the ground. Maybe they'll eat a lot of it as well, and if they eat a lot of it, that's fantastic, because there's a lot of rich nutrients in here. Like there's, absolutely nothing wrong with this hay. It's just that the sheep didn't want to eat it. So you look at this stuff, like this is just like it's just like silage, right? So very high nutrient base, high carbon base, so really going to be good for the soil. So we'll go ahead and get some of this forked up, get over to the chickens, and see how they do. So I got my wheelbarrow load here, got it stacked up high. I'm gonna leave the pitchfork here because I'll come back for another load here in a bit. And I'm not gonna spread this stuff. I'm gonna dump this barrel on the ground as it is and make the chickens do the work. So I'm over here in the rows of trees. This is where the area we're gonna get all the chickens to do all the work, maintaining the area in our trees, because last year it was just a pile of work, and the last couple years actually a pile of work for us to come through here, weed and till and have to manage and mow and do all this stuff. So we really want to put the chickens to work. Not sure if this method is going to work, so I don't want to spend a ton of time on it today. So I'm just going to dump this wheelbarrow over, leave it to see what they do, and I'm going to go work on other things. They're not super sure what it is, but they're interested. Hey buddy, how are you? Yeah, you're a good puppy. Oh yeah, look at them flocking. So much flocking action. Okay, so if you've made it this far into the video, I'm gonna assume you're interested. If you haven't already, please go down below, click the subscribe button. We have like 37 subscribers right now, not a ton. Pretty loyal fan base though, so that's awesome. Thank you guys, love you so much. But we really wanna get to 1,000 subscribers. Why 1,000 subscribers? Well, when we get to 1,000, we can do live videos. So you can come with us and do chores at 5 a.m. You can come with us and do chores at 11 o'clock at night. Any time of day when we're working, we can throw this thing on live and you can see exactly what's happening. Completely raw, unfiltered, unedited, exactly how it is. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? So now, I talk a lot about reducing feed costs. Feed costs are our highest input on the farm, aside from our time. Time is valuable, more valuable than anything. But aside from that, it's feed cost. Now, one area where feed cost kind of goes right out the window is in the weeks up to and after lambing. So that's where you've seen over in previous videos, increased nutrition, increased feed for our ewes. Now, those ewes are now in milk and they're having to sustain their lambs. And so we're gonna pour the feed to them again. And then as those lambs move towards weaning, the rams, we're gonna actually increase their grain ration as well to put muscle mass on those. And I've tried, believe me, I've tried to get our sheep onto soaked feed to reduce the wastage that comes with dry grains and even fermented feed, and there's just no way. They just, for some reason, they don't like the texture, they don't like the flavor. There's only actually ever been 2 sheep that we've ever been able to get onto soaked feed, and that was Lester and Nottingham when they were in the pig pen with Kevin Bacon. But yeah, anyways, if anybody knows a secret for getting sheep to eat soaked feed, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Come on, buddy, don't be crazy. One thing with shearing him is he's super fast now. And so if this guy headbutts anybody, he's gonna end up in the freezer. And I like lamb as much as anybody else, but he's got a job to do. So again, that mutual understanding is very important. So where this guy's at, you can see, we run a deep bedding system in here as well that we want to get broken down sometime over the year. Now we've only got a 6-foot gate on here, so we can't get a tractor in. And okay, so then I guess we got to manually come in and process all this material, whether it's wheelbarrows or forking it into a bucket over the fence or whatever it might be. But what if we just put some pigs in here? We kept Kevin Bacon in here all last year or over the winter, and it worked fantastic. And there was like zero wastage left at the end of the season. So if we can get a hold of a couple of piglets, we'll put them in here and they're gonna process all this straw, all this, and they'll just eat up this leftover hay like it's candy. And then we'll get some delicious pork off the land. And Lindy will have a pen mate, so he'll have a buddy, and maybe that'll work for his social skills a little bit, who knows? So you can see over behind me here, we've got this old blue shed and a bit of a scrap wood pile and stuff. This is just kind of an eyesore and just in a bad location. We dropped it here when it got delivered, just without a really good plan of where it needed to be. So the floor is not that great and it's sitting directly on the ground. We want to get it up off the ground. So it is 12 feet long, and we have some old cut-off lengths of power pole that are 15 feet, so they'd make really good skids. So a project for another day is going to drag these power poles out, get the shed up on skids, and where our camper is now, we're going to drag our camper out, and the camper can sit over here, you know, in behind the C-cam where the quad trailer is, completely out of the way, and then the shed can go over there beside the shop, and we can keep our dog food, our pop cans and bottles and stuff like that, all the stuff that just needs to get put away for the winter time. So why would I want to keep dog food in the shed when, I mean, we have this big old shop sitting here, you know, out of the wind, out of the weather. It's waterproof, it's heated, it's fantastic, right? Mice, oh my goodness. We had some mice come in last year when we were lambing in the shop. That's a whole nother story for a different day. But you know, struggled to get rid of them. We thought we got rid of them. Just recently we found a whole bunch more mice droppings, and having dog food, we're already carrying grain in there, but having dog food in there as well is just like, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. So we're gonna put that all-you-can-eat buffet out in this blue shed over here. The project we gotta get done over here behind me, you can see we got both chicken coops. Now look at that roof line. Yeah. One chicken house is crooked and the other one's unlevel. And then you can see here where we run the water line in from the water well, it actually runs right underneath that blue chicken house. So that's why that one's unlevel. So we're gonna go ahead and take down this fence here because we don't use the enclosed run anymore. Everything's free range. So the gate's wide open. They just come in and out of there as they please. And then we're gonna work to level this chicken house and get everything just kind of back on kilter and straight to the world. So the girls came and they checked out. Where are you at? There they are. They came and checked out this pile of old hay that's fermenting and kind of going bad. But then they just let it be. So they're just really not sure what it is. Maybe it's a new flavor. Maybe it's something they're just not super interested in. Well, I know one way to encourage them. We haven't fed them yet, so we're gonna go ahead and dump their feed on that pile and watch them go to work. Looks like maybe that's all the incentive they needed. Get to work, girls. So while this may work to reduce our feed costs, that's not the end goal. The end goal is to reduce our inputs. So one of our major inputs that we have to deal is machinery handling, right? There's maintenance, there's fuel, cleaning, there's all this stuff that you have to do with a big heavy tractor that if we can reduce time spent in the tractor, we reduce a number of inputs. So by not having to move that old crappy wasted hay with the tractor, we just throw a couple forkfuls in a wagon that we're already over there anyway every day, and then bring it back to the chickens, which we come to again every day, multiple times a day, and just fork it off. If they can process it and use it as mulch, that then reduces our inputs having to manage weeds in amongst all the trees. Win-win. Now you might be wondering, well, why are you trying to use mulch to manage weeds as opposed to just planting a cover crop, right? There's tons of studies on the benefits of cover crops and how they can be used to manage weeds. One of the issues here on the top of the hill where we're at, it's very windswept. And rain swept. There's not a ton of topsoil up here. A lot of heavy clay, and below that clay is sandstone. So the rain either washed away all the topsoil or it drains away through through the soil, and a lot of the nutrients leach away. So we're trying to build that soil, and if we can add some organic matter that would otherwise be waste and put it to our advantage, that's an easy win. Well, the chickens have done a number on this pile of mulch over here. It's kind of tough to see from the house, but you can see they've been working away at it. They've all gone back in the house there now. There's just a light little drizzle coming down, some April showers, hopefully going to bring some May flowers, as they say. Later today, hopefully the showers end and we can get out into the garden here and get all that manure spread and get that garden tilled up. It's end of April. It's time to get the ground working. So looking forward to that. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please go down below, hit that subscribe button. All this content is family friendly. I might say shit every once in a while, but you should hear us when we chase sheep. We'll see you next time.